Yo, did you know that Lupa's appearance changes depending on her forte? Yep, this pole dancing she-wolf's got some fashion instincts alright. Just look at her. She's practically the haute couture queen of the wild. And if you squint, you might see the ideal, elegant silhouette of the female form, crowned with a tail so fierce it could melt ice caps. Truly, alpha tier waifu material. But beyond the catwalk, this femme fatale has enough aerial eye candy to keep us all engaged. And beyond that, she just makes all fusion meta defining. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Lupa is absolutely howling, but not in the way people predicted. Everyone expected her to be the apex predator of the monofusion food chain, leading the charge with brute force. But nope. Turns out, Kuro's lore didn't quite translate into her gameplay dominance. As I said before, monofusion is more like a coordinated wolf pack. Damage is a group effort where the combined strengths of the team matters more than any lone wolf's raw power. You see, Lupa isn't gonna damage carry the wolf pack. She may be the alpha dog of the pack and the queen of dog pound, but she's more of a spiritual leader. Her main role is to boost all fusion with fusion damage buffs and concerto regen, resulting in a smooth and fluid combat gameplay. She makes Chang Li less tedious and Brand even more explosive. In fact, she will only deal around 25% of the total team damage, with Chang Li and Brand splitting the rest almost equally. However, there is a catch. If you want to unleash her full potential, you need to play Fusion Monopoly. 3 Fusion Resonators, non-negotiable, unless you want to cope. Replace Brand with Shorekeeper, for example, and the system kind of breaks down. So, what exactly makes her broken? Lupa's got buffs stacked on buffs, like a true alpha leading her pack. 4 major ones, actually. Let's start with the headliner, Glory. This gives fusion resistance shreds to everyone on your team, scaling based on how many fusion units you run. With 2 loyal fusion wolves running beside her, you get a juicy 15%. The more pack members, the deadlier the hunt. And speaking of hunt, there's Pack Hunt, a 10% fusion damage bonus versus Overlord and Calamity class bosses. Add another 10% for a full fusion team. And as if that wasn't enough, she sprinkles on attack buffs too. 6% scaling up to 18% with back-to-back intros. Lupa also grants some sustained buffs to her wolf pack with her Liberations Pack Hunt. Every time a teammate gets smacked or yeeted into the air, they instantly recover, tail wagging and all. In the wild rules of combat, that counts as a successful dodge. She's not just the alpha, she's the guardian of the pack as well. And next, her outro. This blesses the next character with 20% fusion damage bonus and 25% basic attack damage. Perfect for Brand and Encore. But here's another howling buff triggered by her echo. The Flaming Claw Print's 5-piece set throws on an extra 15% fusion damage bonus for the whole wolf pack. That brings us to 5 total buffs, 4 from the alpha herself and 1 etched into the battlefield from her echo. When this wolf howls, the whole forest listens. Who let the dogs out? So, let's talk teams. If you're playing her at S0, you want 3 fusion units, right? The Holy Trinity, Lupa, Chang Li, and Brand. Their outros practically kiss each other. No quick swapping needed, just pure, elegant energy. Other pairs work too. Encore in place of Brand or Chang Li, slightly weaker but still viable. Shisha, doable but a little clunky. Mortefi, surprisingly spicy with Encore. Just remember though, if you stray too far from the pack, her buffs start to fade. And yes, Shorekeeper technically functions, But unless your speed running hand cramps with swap macros, she's generally worse. Mechanically, Lupa's gameplay is smooth, simple, effective. While she can build forte stacks first, you really just want to jump straight into liberation. That fills your forte instantly. From there, you burn your special skill, convert into mid-air mode, and start going feral. Convert both forte halves, cash in for her forte skill, and boom, you're in support mode. The next teammate starts spraying on Lupa's buffs. Simple and efficient. Now, if you're feeling spicy, you can quick swap. For example, hit mid-air 1, swap to Changli, skill back to Lupa, more mid-air shenanigans, then bail after converting for Forte skill. This even helps Changli charge her Forte. It's like a mini team building exercise, except the team is your rotation muscle memory. So what about her damage breakdown? About 70% of it is tied to Liberation and Forte skill. Her numbers aren't groundbreaking, but the rotation is so short and so efficient, you'll barely notice it. She's front loaded, and that's perfect for quick swap shenanigans. Her presence smooths out the entire rotation like a well practiced pack run. Changli's Concerto feels noticeably faster because Lupa boosts Fusion Concerto regen for the whole squad. This lets Changli have a shorter, sharper turn to sink her fangs into the enemy. And honestly, that's one of the best parts about Lupa. She brings not just buffs but rhythm and momentum to the hunt. Her weapon, signature all the way. Not just for her own damage, but for the team-wide 24% fusion damage buff. That's massive, though since she already buffs a ton of fusion damage, the effect is a bit less dramatic than you might think. Think of it more as comp synergy insurance. But if you're broke just like me, or just cursed by the Gaja gods, the 5-star standard Broadblade is a perfectly serviceable backup. Ideally, you'll want to bark out 2 quick skill casts before unleashing Liberation to get that passive bonus. But sometimes, when the Liberation is ready to pounce like a wolf spotting prey, it's smarter to trigger it first. Otherwise, the skill cooldown might trip up your whole forte chain like a clumsy pup. In terms of echoes, you want Flaming Claw Print's 5-piece. It gives her Liberation more bite. It also boosts the wolf pack. Moonlight Clouds could also work for a dedicated support build. The energy regen passive helps her Liberation uptime, while the 5-piece bonus grants party-wide attack bonuses. Skill priorities. Liberation leads to pack, then go for Forte, followed by intro, and everything else can trail behind those. As for her sequences, S1 is a tasty looking bone but mostly bait unless you're hunting for S2. Now, S2 is absolutely feral, a team-wide 40% fusion damage bonus that turns your squad into a howling storm. S3, less of a power spike and more of a leash breaker. It frees her from mono fusion dependence. And if you go all the way to S4 through S6, Lupa transforms from team buffer to full-blown apex predator, ready to carry the damage load on her shoulders. Should you get her? If you've already got 2 fusion units ready to be empowered, say Brant and Changli, you'd be doing your account a disservice by skipping her. Absolutely summon. In the Tower of Adversity, she elevates your squad like a caffeine-charged alpha with a buff agenda. However, if you are going for AoE mob destruction, note that she's more of a single-target specialist. So, in mob-heavy fights or multi-wave chaos like Whimpering Waves, she's not going to be your best bet in the final stages. Her pack hunt doesn't even proc against tiny-ass enemies. But let's be honest, that's not really a fusion team's purpose. Fusion comps are all about tactical synergy, precision, and sustained output. And just like in the wild, the pack picks a single target and gang pounces on it. Now, for my final thoughts. Lupa is the ultimate mono fusion support. She's the Shorekeeper 2.0 with better uptime, easier rotations, and a waifu model that could single-handedly cause gacha addiction spikes worldwide. She won't heal, but she makes gameplay better. Pull her if you have Changli and Brand. If not, Encore and Shisha make decent stand-ins. If you're completely fusionless and your luck is lower than your credit score, well, maybe wait. But if you love her, simp away to your heart's content. If you enjoyed this video and find it helpful, please support the channel, leave a like, subscribe, and stay feral, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.